Is Canon replacing another legendary EF telephoto lens with an RF zoom? Are there already leaked pictures of the R1? Stay tuned, find out. What is up, y'all? It's Logan here with Canonical, your Canon camera news update. So Canon has confirmed, that's right, confirmed, a new telephoto powerhouse. But it might not be how you expect. It looks like following in the same footsteps of the 100-300 f2.8, we are going to get a 200-500 f4 that will replace the 500 f4. Now, if this is true, it's going to add a lot of versatility to the 500 lens. Especially for birders and sports photographers, when you're trying to get your subject in frame, I think it's going to make this a lot more easy where you can zoom out, find your subject, and then focus in on it. Now, it's looking like this lens is going to be fully announced with specifics in Q4 of 2023, but being that the lens is already confirmed, we could see it even sooner than that. I think the main thing to take into consideration here is what the price is going to be, because we did see a substantial increase from an already expensive 300 EF lens to the 100-300 RF. The EF was listing around $6,000 US, and we saw a substantial increase to $9,499 US for the 100-300 f2.8. If we compare and contrast that, the EF 500mm f4 is still currently retailing around $8,999 US. So my speculation is that we are going to see a lens that could be $13,000, $15,000, maybe even $18,000. It also appears in the vein of trying to keep things light and compact. Even with the telephoto lenses, there's not going to be a 1.4 times teleconverter in it. So let me know what you think about that. Do you prefer the 1.4 times teleconverter to be built into the lens as we've seen with other big brands, or would you prefer it to be a separate piece? I do like having the versatility of a 1.4 built in. I like the idea of that. But I can see where Canon's coming from with trying to keep things light and tidy. I think a 1.4 converter might kind of make things harder to fit in camera bags, harder to carry around, and it's going to add a little bit of length to the overall body of the lens. Now, I do believe this is going to be a highly sought after lens, especially for sports and wildlife photographers, but is it going to be something that's in people's budgets? Probably not. I did, however, just become a Canon Professional Services Platinum member, so I am going to try to get my hands on one of these whenever it comes out. So within the next year, you may see a review of it from this channel. So there's still a lot of speculation of how big it's going to be, the weight, the size. All of these things are yet to be confirmed, but I'm sure that we'll get some leaks coming out over the next few months before we have an official release. For our next topic, it looks like we got leaked images of the R1. So at the G7 Summit, there was a photographer there, and the video that you'll see here on screen, the guy punches in, and we can see what looks like a bigger, kind of flagship type body that this photographer's using. Now, it looks to me like there is a case around it. It appears to either be like a hard plastic shell or a leather case to kind of conceal what they're using here, which makes sense. If Canon is trying to keep this thing under wraps until potentially next year, then these are probably some pre-production models, some test models, and they're going to want to keep them wrapped up and not get in the eyes of the public. G7, there's going to be a ton of cameras there. So with that being said, we can kind of tell that it has a bigger body, so we would assume it has an extended battery grip, potentially the vertical shooting mode that we see on those. It does look like it's still using the RF mount, which after all of us have invested this much money in RF glass, I would hope. And we can kind of see what looks like a little bit of a funky hot shoe on top. This may just be the covering, and it does have a flat profile to it. So are we going to see the elimination of the typical Canon bump from the top, or is this just them kind of tricking us? As we learn more, I'm going to provide as much coverage as possible on this R1. It's a camera that I'm super excited about, and even though probably one that I'll never buy, I still love learning about all the gear that's coming out and what new technology they're putting in all of these upcoming cameras. So real quick, if you like videos like this, Canon news, wildlife, hit that like button, subscribe to me. I'll be covering more stuff as often as I possibly can. Thanks for stopping by the channel. We'll catch y'all on the flip.